Hello from Paris, or as the French would say, hello. This is a city of beauty, sophistication and great cheese. Words that could be used to describe my guest today. Apart from obviously the cheese bits. Welcome to the guest list, where today I'm going to be jumping straight into an interview with another star to find out what 4 movies they consider their favourites. Episode 5, Season 2 of the guest list brings us an athletic actor who has quite literally been to the dark side. He was most recently seen in a global game of chase with Samuel L. Jackson. He's rubbed shoulders with Andy Warhol and had open heart surgery while awake. Today the force is definitely with him though, as he joins me on the guest list. Hayden Christensen, welcome to the guest list.
Thank you. It's good to see you again, man.
Yeah, good to see you. Although, obviously, apologies for last time, because last time I was dressed as Princess.
You had a different outfit. Yeah, that's
Leia.
right. That's right. That's right.
Was it weird when because you were obviously Anakin Skywalker, I was dressed as Princess Leia, and I kept calling you Dad, which I thought was funny.
That was a little awkward.
Yeah.
It was slightly uncomfortable, but you gave me the Manchester United jersey, so it was all cool.
That's like a rule, isn't it? Like if you dress as someone's daughter, as long as you give them a football jersey.
Yeah, you got to give them some sort of gift, and it makes do.
Hey, well, listen, thank you for inviting us to Paris. It's great to be here. I just had the best sandwich, a real sort of Parisian sandwich. I mean, it was just ham and cheese, but it was Parisian, so it felt really nice. What are you doing here?
I'm here to watch some tennis and talk about my involvement with the Lacoste brand, and actually play a little tennis.
You were meant to be a sportsman, and you were actually a ball boy as well as a player. You were a ball boy at some major events.
That's right.
I can't imagine what that pressure's like. Literally, I'll watch a tennis
Being a ball boy?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, especially when you're a little kid, when you're like, 9, 10 years old, and you're like on the grandstand, running across the net to grab the ball. It's, the pressure's on,
But you only have a limited lifespan as a ball boy anyway.
That's true. There's no ball men.
Exactly.
So it's like a certain age, and then you kind of have to leave your glory days behind you.
Because you see a ball man sort of in the shots creeping.
It's a little different, yeah.
It puts off the players, like a guy with a beard there, crouching down, sort of watching, uncomfortable.
Yeah, agreed.
I think you were wise to get out when you did.
Thanks, man.
Let's talk about some movies that you've loved. Because you've selected 4 movies for us today, and I'm very excited to find out what those movies are. And in selecting them, you are to a certain degree recommending them to other people. That they might enjoy them too. Let's begin with Cool Hand Luke.
I hear the train a-comin', it's rolling around the bend, and I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when. I'm stuck in Folsom Prison, and time keeps dragging on.
Why did you pick Cool Hand Luke?
Classic Paul Newman movie.
It's about time we had a little talk.
Cool film. Obviously, the infamous egg eating scene is one that everyone will be familiar with. I think, even if you don't know the movie.
Go!
Yeah. It's where
I think at one point, everyone sort of gets together with their buddies and tries to reenact it, and never goes well.
Just to clarify, this is the scene where he attempts to eat 50 hard-boiled eggs.
That's right.
In 60 minutes.
That's right.
1, 2, 3. Man, you're gonna lose a finger eating eggs like that.
'24.
You tried it?
I have.
How far did you get?
I don't think I made it past like 15. I didn't get sick. I just called it quits. I just gave up. But
I mean, that's got to put you off eggs for life.
For a long time. Yeah. No, I think for like a good few years, just had no interest in eggs anymore. I mean, have you ever tried it?
I have, yeah. But I was sick. And the thing is,
sick,
because, I wasn't drinking any liquid, without wanting to get too graphic, it's the kind of thing, it's like a fur ball, like an eggy fur ball. If you're a cat, it's sort of, and then it thunk, like just a sort of lump.
That's really descriptive.
Right. I said I didn't want to get too graphic, and then I was as graphic as possible. Yeah. Cool Hand Luke was a huge success in the sort of 60s because of its very anti-establishment kind of like attitude. And I think, and I don't know whether you agree, the way the world is at the moment, it's probably due a resurgence in popularity.
Well, that's why we're talking about it, you know. So I think, you know, if you haven't seen the film, check out Cool Hand Luke.
On the subject of foodstuffs, are you still not eating pig-based meat?
This is true, you've heard.
I have, yeah. Would you like to explain why?
I have a couple of pigs now, and just well, apparently they're not very good for you either. So just on like a sheer health level, apparently pork is not very healthy, and you know, I believe you are what you eat, and so you should stay away from pork for that reason. But when you get a couple of pigs, you sort of, I don't know, they've got real personalities. And
what are their names?
Buddy and Petunia.
Buddy and Petunia.
They're brother and sister. They're little miniature potbelly pigs, and we got them, I don't know, like 6 months ago or so.
Would you recommend them as a pet then? I mean, are they nice? What do they do?
They're very affectionate, and they, you know, follow you around, and they come when they're called, and they actually sort of smile a little bit if you can, like, you know, scratch their back or rub their tummy a little bit, you know, they'll actually, the corners of their mouths will actually sort of curl up and they smile, which a dog can't do, which, you know.
That's great.
It's pretty neat, yeah.
Slightly unnerving, though, if you're not actually tickling them and they sort of walk in a room and they're just
they're just kind of smiling.
Just grinning at you there.
Well, they don't do that.
Yeah?
Yeah, no, they don't do that.
You have to touch them.
Yeah, you got to give them a little scratch.
It freaked me out. 2 in the morning, I'm in my pants watching TV. Yeah. Okay, good, but that's why you don't eat pork.
Yeah.
You never got really hammered and like had no food in the house and just sort of licked Petunia like that. I could taste. No?
That's just no.
That's wrong, isn't
that's
it?
Wrong.
I've got a cat. I would never lick my cat.
I hope not.
No, I wouldn't. You're absolutely right. Let's talk about another movie now, which is just a great movie. I'm going to do my favourite bit of the song. Boo, 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 boo.
How you doing?
One of the first things I learned to play on the piano, actually, is the theme to Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How far into it? Because that bit's quite boo, boo, boo. It's fine.
I just would repeat that, actually.
Right. Not that.
Is there more to the song? Oh, yeah, no, there's that as well, yeah.
You
can go on if you want.
No, I hated that bit. I like the first bit that you could play.
Yeah, no. I mean, you just sort of do that when you're walking around and there's like just a little bit more of a hop to your step, and, you know. But
in your head, internally.
Yeah, just internally in your head, yeah. But yeah, Beverly Hills Cop, you know, classic Eddie Murphy movie. You know, one of my favorites growing up. He's a badass, but like a really funny one, which is, you know, a rare combination in sort of the action movie genre.
We should have known it was you.
And, you know, obviously one of the movies that really, you know, did a lot of good for Eddie Murphy. You know, they made a couple more of them, and that whole franchise is one of my favorites.
I mean, you're absolutely right. I think Eddie Murphy in the 1980s, at best represented in this film, was just a live wire on camera, and a man who would sort of improvise as well. And you watch the movie, and you see Judge Reinhold with his hand in his pocket in loads of scenes where they're talking because he's having to pinch himself so he doesn't laugh.
Oh, really?
Sir, before you chastise these two officers, I think of something you should know. The only reason that they were at a strip bar was because they were tailing me and I went to this place. And the only reason that they came in was because they saw two suspicious-looking gentlemen with bulges in their jackets going into the place. I don't know what you teach these fellows, but they're not just regular cops, okay? They're super cops. And the only thing missing on these guys are capes.
Have you ever been in a situation where you've wanted to improvise? Have you improvised in any of the roles you've taken? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, not to the extent.
Is it liberating for an actor?
You try to stick to the script as much as possible, but you know, I think that's sort of like Eddie Murphy's, you know, whole thing is just that, you know, he's gonna know the material better than the person who's writing it.
I'm looking for Victor Maitland.
You realize that this is a members-only club.
But I have to talk to Victor. It's very, very important.
Well, why don't you give me the message, and I'll take it to him.
Okay, I guess I can do that. Tell Victor that Ramon, the fella he met about a week ago, tell him that Ramon went to the clinic today, and I found out that I have Simplex 10. And I think Victor should go check himself out with his physician to make sure everything is fine before things start falling off on the man.
So for him, it really works. I improvise a little bit, but for the most part, you know, I stick to my line.
Right, part one of today's guest list has drawn to a close, but I will be back here in just a moment talking more movies with Mr. Hayden Christensen in part two. Hello and welcome back to today's guest list, where I'm joined by Mr. Hayden Christensen. When you left tennis and started acting, did you initially apply the same kind of sort of competitive sportsman-like attitude to sort of securing roles? Because I'm thinking, like, I mean, the role you are sort of still known best for, because the most people in the world have seen that movie, is Anakin Skywalker, and you beat off like 500 other applicants for that role. So was it conscious or is it just chance?
Just chance, yeah. No, I think that's why I took to acting, was just because it wasn't about competing. It was about your own, you know, personal attachment to whatever it is that acting represents, or, you know, any sort of form of art. But no, that was pure chance getting that role. I was very lucky.
Right then, this is great. I'm so pleased you picked this. No one's ever picked this film before, and I think it's one of those massively unknown films that people don't really immediately go, oh yeah, I know that. Galaxy Quest.
Galaxy Quest, yeah, amazing movie.
Super.
Yeah. No, one I've seen many times. One of the funnier ones for me. Great cast. You know, it's sort of like the spoof on the whole Star Trek genre.
It's real.
Are you crazy? You have to get out of here.
Oh, come on, guys.
Jason, we're actors, not astronauts.
You guys want to go home? Say the word, we'll go home. Pay our bills, feed our fish, fall asleep in front of the TV, and miss out on all of this.
Sam Rockwell is one of my favorite actors, and you know, gives another great performance in that film. But just the whole lot of them, Tim Allen, Sigourney Weaver, just all, you know, in top form, and one of my favorite movies.
I like the bit where they teleport the hog up onto the bridge, and it turns inside out.
We're getting you out right now. It's perfectly safe, isn't it, Ted?
It has never been successfully tested.
What did he say?
Stand back, Jason.
I heard some squealing or something.
Oh, no, everything's fine.
But the animal is inside out.
I heard that. It turned inside out?
And then they're trying to convince Tim Allen to do the same thing.
That's right. Yeah, no, that's pretty funny. The beginning of the movie, when Tim Allen is first confronted by, do you remember?
Klaatu.
Yeah, when they first show up and he's just not buying it. I think that's pretty good.
Commander.
Excuse me?
I must speak to you. It is a matter of supreme importance. We are Thermians from the Klaatu Nebula, and we need your help.
Oh. Is this about the gig tomorrow? Just hammer out the details with my agent and make sure there's a limo at my house. Last time I did one of these gigs, they shoved me in the back of a Toyota. Remember, mum's the word.
Certainly, but
Mum.
Mum.
The whole movie is just one funny bit after another.
And it's like you say, I mean, it's an homage and a pastiche at the same time on the Star Trek films. And there's loads. I mean, even from like Sirius, the evil guy at the end, he has the old eye patch there that General Chang has in The Undiscovered Country. And the rock monster, the big rock monster, William Shatner actually wanted one of those at the end of, I think it's The Final Frontier, Star Trek V. Couldn't have it because of budget, so they went and put it in this.
Really?
So it's full of love, I think.
You know your stuff.
Thanks, man. You spend a lot of time on the internet, but then I don't have
Watch a lot
pigs.
of movies.
Yeah, I don't have pigs to look after. I'll tell you my other funny bit before we move on. It's the bit where they're being chased through the ship, and they turn the corner, and there's just that corridor with devices that go like that. And Sigourney Weaver goes,
What is this thing? I mean, it serves no useful purpose for there to be a bunch of choppy, crushy things in the middle of a hallway. No, I think we shouldn't have to do this. It makes no logical sense. Why is it here?
Because it's on the television
Well,
show.
forget it! I'm not doing it! This episode was badly written!
That almost pays homage to the Star Wars films with the whole garbage crushing scene. But actually, talking about it makes me want to watch it again. It's been a little while.
We should.
Yeah.
You should. I don't know why I'd invite myself to your movie.
No, man, we should watch it.
Another sci-fi movie, and in making it recently, you got to work with one of my favourite directors, Doug Liman, and that movie is Jumper.
Amazing.
I mean, you know, Born Identity, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Go, which I think is just a fantastic
Yeah, Swingers,
film. Of course.
Yeah.
How was that? Did you enjoy working with him on Jumper?
I loved it. Yeah, no, he was one of my favorite directors as well. Before I got to work with him, so I was really excited when he offered me that part. And it was a really cool thing to get to work on. You know, we shot all over the world, and it was a good year of traveling around, jumping, you know, from city to city, and with a good group of people. Jamie Bell, Rachel Bilson, Sam Jackson. So it was a good time.
And did you still hold Mr. Lyman in such high esteem after he required you to do so many of your own stunts, which I believe resulted in you sustaining a couple of injuries?
Yeah, there was a bit of that. No, I mean that was really sort of Jamie and I just being up for the cause, you know, and it was really a function of like sort of like guerrilla style filmmaking, just showing up in a random spot and saying, all right, we need to have you jump into this location, and so Jamie and I would just sort of throw ourselves into a new environment, and you know, you twist an ankle, or, you know, cut yourself or something like that. But it's all part of the job.
What was the worst injury you sustained? Anything bad?
I had a few decent cuts. I knocked my head one time, and my right pupil got stuck in this dilated position, and had to go see an eye doctor, and that was a little discerning.
So you had just one big eye?
Just one big eye, yeah. No, it was a little freaky. Yeah. You gotta not knock your head a lot. That's not good.
That's great advice.
Yeah.
Let's talk about another movie now. Rescue Dawn.
Rescue Dawn, another film that I really, really love. Werner Herzog.
Who's mental?
I mean, I've never met him, but like I love all of his films, especially his documentaries where he's in front of the camera. Mm-hmm. The Journey to the End of the World, most recently, and the what was the one with the guy who
Grizzly Man.
Grizzly Man, yeah. Talking about mental. But yeah, no, I'm a big fan of his, and I think that's some of Christian Bale's finer work. He's, you know, one of my favorite actors too.
And this pilot, he had his goggles upon his helmet, and I could see his eyes, and he was looking at me, right at me. He's looking right at me, and as he turns, oh, he's turning back, he's looking right at me still. And the thing is, from that moment on, little Dieter, he needed to fly.
Just a good film, so if you haven't seen it, check it out.
Great stuff. Hayden Christensen, it's been a pleasure talking through these 4 movies with you. Thank you.
Thanks, dude.
Say hello to the pigs for me.
I will do.
I'm going to get one.
I don't believe you, but
I am.
All right.
Well, I wouldn't lie about something like that. It's an animal. Honestly.
Well, actually, I can't breed mine because they're siblings. But I'll get the female pregnant, and then I'll let you know. And
no, don't breed
I'll ship
that.
one off to. You don't want that?
Yeah, no, I do.
Yeah, and then I could ship it to wherever you live in London.
London, yeah.
I think they would allow that.
Okay,
Maybe
cool.
not. I don't know.
Well, I mean, even if it has to spend sort of X amount of time at the airport in quarantine, I'll go visit it. Just we can bond first, and then by the time it comes to live with me, I'll be like, "You're the guy who comes to the airport," and then I'll be like, "Cool," and then it'll just do that grin.
Nice one.
Thanks, man.
Good to see you, man.
So there you have it, the lovely Hayden Christensen with his 4 favourite movies and a rather intricate knowledge of the grinning pot-bellied pig. Until another edition of the guest list when another star picks their 4 favourite films, take care.